You guys know that my goal in life is to educate people about how amazing reptiles are. Take for instance the Sanzinia madagascariensis or a Madagascan tree boa. Absolutely a wonderful animal from western Madagascar. But when you're trying to educate people online, there is an elephant in the room. This is son of Sam, a African bullfrog, absolutely getting giant. He is crushing food and I love him to death. I mean, look at how cute that little face is though. Social media influencers, people that breed reptiles, people that are doing things similar to us at the Rep Fair, we're all kind of making money off of animals, and that can be a little tricky. But when does making money off of reptiles or animals in general become exploitation? Real dragons, another animal that are just absolutely incredible. These are actually the Indonesian or New Guinea version of them. We have quite a few of them because we keep on producing and we keep all of them. We don't ever get rid of them. I don't know if we're going to breed them again this year. Lilith has been separated from Nova. But we're probably going to put them back together and maybe get some more babies. Who knows? At some point, we can't keep them all. And I'm sure you guys have all watched the show The Tiger King. I mean, who hasn't seen it, right? And I truly believe that guys like Joe Exotic, you'll start out as animal lovers. I mean, that's why he got into it, was the animals and just the love of the animals. But then over time, the fame, the fortune, the kind of hoopla that goes along with it, sometimes people can kind of lose track of where they're going and get a little bit off their path. You see, when you first start getting going, you know, say you start a YouTube channel or a TikTok or an Instagram, you have this kind of message, and it's really easy to keep your morals, right? Because you're not getting a lot of views, so it doesn't really matter. What ends up happening over time is that as you get more views, and then they start making a little bit of money, and then things start going, all of a sudden, sometimes it's like switches your focus, right? All of a sudden, like, oh, all those things I wanted to do when I first started out and I was getting no attention, all of a sudden now you're thinking like, oh my God, what if I don't get views, right? So, you know, once you get 1 million views on a video, the next video you want 1 million views again, and the next video you want 1 million views again. And sometimes you start getting off path where you're thinking more about the views than you are thinking about the message that you're actually trying to convey. And especially one of the things that a lot of people do is they start to build their lifestyle off of the money they're making from those views. That's probably the biggest thing. You know, throughout my entire career, I've never really used any of the money that I've made for anything other than animals. Speaking of animals, of course, Freya, the albino alligator, she is getting big. She's looking so good and starting to really mellow out, so it's really getting good. Is she like salt yet? Probably not quite like salt, but she certainly is a beautiful, beautiful animal. Ooh. You see, once your channel starts to blow up or your social media following starts to blow up and there's opportunities to make more money, you know, that's a whole nother beast that you have to worry about. It becomes something different than you expected in the beginning. Again, when you start, you have this purist kind of attitude of like, I just want to show off my animals and get people to love them. And then all of a sudden it becomes kind of more of a business and you start thinking like, oh, well, if I do this, this is going to happen. And it can definitely get you a little bit out of sorts. There's no doubt about that. And look at Marshmallow, by the way, the ivory Burmese python. I mean, there are so many animals that just absolutely blow me away every single day. I'm so blessed to be able to come in here every day and see these animals, not just here at the Reptarium, but also at BHB. And speaking of BHB, when we started Snake Bites TV in 2008, our first kind of journey into YouTube and stuff like that, you got to remember, first off, there was no money at all. There was no even partner program on YouTube, so there was no opportunity to make money. But after a few years, you know, our views were kind of climbing. There was some opportunity to make money. And then, you know, I'll be honest, I got kind of cloudy vision at that point. I started thinking a lot more about views and how I could get bigger, and I started thinking about growth rather than focus on the message that I actually had when I started, which was just educating people and getting people to love these animals like I do. And I'm going to come clean right now and tell you that there were certainly things I did back then that I would never do now, that I think were on that borderline like of exploitation just to try to get popularity, views, money, whatever it is. Thankfully, I came to my senses pretty quick. You know, by the time I started the vlog, I was pretty grounded and I knew exactly what was going on. I'd been doing snake bites for almost 10 years, so I kind of already had been through the kind of ups and downs, reset myself. You know, sometimes you guys really help me out saying, hey, Brian, you're doing bad things. So I certainly listened to the constructive criticism. When we started the vlog, we really already were grounded in knowing that we wanted to be really educational. Now, don't get me wrong, that doesn't mean that we don't do sensational things from time to time. And it certainly doesn't mean that we don't talk about videos that get views, because obviously views equal to money, and money equals to doing better things for all my animals, like building the aquarium, doing more outreach stuff. And listen, I always say you can have the best message in the world. If no one's watching, what difference does it really make, right? So views equal people, and people equals changing people's minds. And the more minds we can change about these wonderful animals really does matter. Ready for your fun adventures?
Oh yeah.
Okay, good.
Oh, sorry.
Is this your fun?
You see that? Just touch it a little bit. Don't break your finger enough.
impressive.
I know.
Impressive.
I know.
And now when I make money, especially on social media, it's really just going back into the zoo, the expansion. There's never really a personal gain for me. Again, I talked about I live my life really modestly. So the money we make actually doesn't really go to like lavish lifestyle or anything like that. It goes to absolutely beautiful animals, beautiful enclosures, trying to do more expansion, trying to do more outreach, trying to get people to love these animals, you know? So the money is important. Obviously, it's very important because I couldn't do the things that I do if it wasn't for the money. But the money isn't for me personally. It's really to grow the legacy in the future of loving of animals. And you guys know right now that I'm literally putting every dime that I have, and more so, more than I even have, into the aquarium and the new reptarium across the street. I'm trying to create, again, a legacy. And quite frankly, I'm putting my family at jeopardy, right? You guys know I'm fighting a disease right now, and I'm still kind of pushing to do this aquarium thing because I know that for decades to come, there's going to be hundreds and hundreds of thousands of people that are going to come through, and they're going to eventually start loving animals, and you never know where that's going to go. You never know when that young kid walks in, and he maybe is the next Steve Irwin, you know, and maybe we inspire him to do that. Who knows? But the fact is that it's so important for me to do that, I'm literally risking everything to do it. And although I'm in this battle, and you guys know it, you know, listen, I plan on being part of this for decades to come. I'm going to do everything I can do to be around to enjoy seeing the place open up and seeing the place flourish and see all the people love and be happy with all the animals there. I don't plan on losing the battle. I mean, it's a tough battle, I ain't gonna lie, and it's really, really hard some days. But you know what? I plan on being around for as long as I possibly can because I want to see the success across the street, and I want to see all those people's lives change that I know is going to happen as they walk through the door into this incredibly insane new place that we're building. And for those of you guys that are interested, we've actually raised $219,000 on the GoFundMe. I'm going to put a link in the description. You guys know if you can help, it really does matter because I really don't know how we're going to come up with the final money to pay for this. We just decided to go because I was like, you know what, I can't wait any longer. You know, we were almost 8 weeks of just kind of doing nothing over there other than planning, and basically construction stopped and stuff like that, which really pushed back the opening date. So now instead of October, we're probably looking at December to open up. And we just couldn't wait any longer, you know, and I thought, you know what, I'm just going to believe that we're going to somehow raise the money. Again, $219,000 there, a few $100,000 beyond that we've raised on other avenues, which is really good. But we have a long way to go, you know, so if you guys do want to be a part of it, you want to be a part of this legacy, I do appreciate it. And again, I hate begging. I hate that. I hate everything about it. This isn't about me. This is about trying to create something that's going to really change people's lives for decades to come. And just like you guys, I watch a ton of content. I watch tons of YouTube. I watch tons of TikTok, Instagram. I always can tell when someone is like just coming up and I'm like, wow, this person has something really cool about them. And then they start to blow up. And I see a lot of times it kind of changed them a lot. I mean, it's just human nature, right? I mean, basically as you blow up, you're like chasing that dream. It's kind of like, you know, a gambling thing. You see something do well and you want it to do well again and again and again. It's endorphins, right? And it takes maturity to get past that. It takes time to actually get to the point, all right, you know what, it really isn't a big deal. Yeah, you want everything to be successful. You want this video to get 1 million views. You want all those things. But at the same time, you know, you got to just kind of get past that, you know, mentality and just realize that it's about the animals, and it's always about the animals. It's never about me. It's never about my personal gain. It's never about anything like that. It's always about the message. And like I said, I see it happening all the time. And thankfully, most people do kind of see it through the cycle, right? They kind of get it going. They might start doing things that are sensational to get views. And then oftentimes they draw back and go, all right, I'm going back to what I am. Every now and then you get somebody that just is crazy and all they seem to care about is getting views. Hey, Drogi, look at how beautiful he is. Isn't he just an absolute wonderful animal? You have to sometimes put things into perspective. If someone's getting a ton of views, and maybe you aren't completely happy with their content, what you have to ask yourself is, are they doing more good than bad, right? Like if their views are doing good and people are inspired to start loving animals, maybe it's not as bad as you think. I typically give people the benefit of the doubt and think that, hey, even if you're really just going after views, it's okay. You know, I've been doing this long enough to know that some videos are going to do really well, millions and millions of views. Some videos not going to do as well. I'm still happy with what I do, and I've kind of settled into this kind of situation where I'm going to, look at this yawn. Oh my God, you're so cute. All I want to do is just educate people. So what I want to do is make money so I can educate people, so I can make money, so I can educate people, and I can make money, and I can educate more people. And the more people I educate, the better it gets. It's a cyclical thing. I mean, we try to do as best as we can so that we can reach as many people with the message that matters to me more than anything. So why do I bring this up? It's really two things. The way my career has gone and where I'm at right now, legacy is everything to me. I wanted to come clean to you guys. I wanted to tell you that I have lost focus. I have kind of went down the road that I wasn't proud of before. But the good news is that I was able to find my way back, and that's really important to me. Speaking of important, I mean, look at Ben and Jerry. I mean, I tell you, I don't show these guys off nearly enough. I mean, they are absolutely wonderful animals. And a lot of people have been asking me lately for some reason on social, like, if I bred Ben and Jerry, could I produce more two-headed snakes? It doesn't work that way. It's a complete mutant. It's a random thing. So there have been places like San Diego Zoo that bred two-headed snakes before. They had a corn snake that they bred, I think, 3 or 4 different times, produced a bunch of different eggs, and they never were able to actually produce two-headed snakes. So two-headed snake genetically doesn't pass down mutation-wise. It's not like an albino or something like that. It's just a random mutation, a one-off, 1 in a million type of thing. And then when you get the 1 in a million, of course, it's only 1 in a million that they live like Ben and Jerry. By the way, look at how amazing Carl looks right now. Jessica redid this entire enclosure. So if you guys didn't see that video, I'll put a card up here. You guys can definitely check it out. Largest teeth of any non-venomous snake. Absolutely wonderful, beautiful animal. I've seen other influencers, like I had mentioned, that are kind of going off track, maybe doing some things that are sensational, maybe even some things that you think are bad for the reptile hobby. But I kind of caution you on that a little bit. You know, try to be kind to people. You know, oftentimes, just like me, when I veered off track, some people were kind and were like, hey, Brian, I think you're doing things crazy or whatever. Other people weren't so friendly, but at the same time, I was able to listen and take that constructive criticism. So I oftentimes reach out to my friends on social media if I think they've stepped over the line and very gently just say, hey, you know, maybe that's not the best look. Maybe you should think about that. We have to always be thinking about the image of the hobby, right? But you have to also kind of offset is there sensationalism offsetting the fact of the impact they're potentially making with people loving animals. It's a tough thing, and I know it's hard. It's easy for people to see something online and go, I can't believe he did that or she did that. That's absolutely ridiculous. You know, sometimes even doing something sensational gets you attention, and then the other thing you could do with that attention is really positive. So again, just, you know, food for thought. And I really truly believe that all influencers that are into reptiles, animals, whatever, they mean the best. They started because they love the animals, and I think that they really do mean the best. I know my kind of veering off path at times was something that took me a while to get back. So I think ultimately the reptile community and the animal community as a large is in great shape with the people that represent it. And again, you got to remember, we are all part of the community. So rather than spewing hate to people and so like that, give them a little bit of constructive criticism if you need to. But at the same time, remember that we're all in the same boat. And we're all just trying to get people to love animals.
Hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, there's a playlist that you can watch all kinds of videos. You can also hit that subscription button. It would mean a lot to me. Also, hit that like button while you're down there. Have a wonderful day, Reptile Army. Remember,
just touch it a little bit. Don't break your finger enough.
Impressive.